What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back as always. So, I want to take the time to bring this up because I don't do this enough with my guests, especially with the athletes. So, Miss Boulay, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm
Thanks
so
for having
honored to
me.
have you on, seriously. So, what I want to say real quick is that all of you guys, obviously, you get your recognition through play, but sometimes you guys don't get honored in terms of like just as a person and shown off to the world as a person, like who you really are. So this should be nice to finally let someone like you have the chance to have the floor to speak and just let people get an idea as to who you really are.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, I want you to make sure that you get your flowers. Just like anybody else who has come on, I want to make sure that you get your flowers as well because I truly appreciate it. And you guys deserve to be recognized. You guys are special. You guys are D1 athletes. and obviously anyone else who's come on who's not an athlete, I appreciate you as well. Please make sure, real quick, that you follow, do all that good stuff. Tell your neighbors, cousins, aunts, uncle, whatever, to follow, whatever. That good stuff. I appreciate you. But with that said, obviously, we have a 6-year varsity player, which is nuts. I just found that out. We got an all-state player. We have an first-team all-tournament player. And we got someone who, like, practically leads their high school's history in, like, every other category except for kills. But with that said, Tori, once again, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for
Can't
asking. People don't ask me that enough.
Really?
I appreciate that. But so let's take it back real quick. So we're obviously going to talk about what brought you to Central and everything and all that good stuff. But tell me about where you're from, because if I'm not mistaken, you're from New York.
Yeah.
So tell me about the differences between New York and Connecticut in your eyes.
Okay. Well, I'm from upstate New York a little bit. I'm like 2 hours from here.
Not
I'm
the
like
city life, right?
no, I'm not from the city,
Yeah.
but like Poughkeepsie, if you know where that is. Some people do know. It's like the last stop on from the train from
Okay.
Grand Central. So I'm like 20 minutes from there. I go from a town called Kingston.
Okay.
There's like 20,000 people, so it's not a big city, but it's like
If you ever tell someone that, do they be like, you know Sean Kingston? Is that Sean? Has anyone ever
People
said
do
that?
talk- or they think I'm talking about Kingston, like they know Kingston, Jamaica. A lot of people
Oh,
know 'cause it's
okay.
the capital of Jamaica.
I got you.
So, but compared to Connecticut, I like New York a lot better.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's this area of Connecticut, but it's not my favorite.
You're not a fan of the suburbs?
No, not really.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Well, you seem, if I'm not mistaken, you travel a decent amount, right?
Yeah, as much as I can.
What's your favorite state? Would you say in this country?
that I visited?
Yeah.
Or yeah, I gotta say New York is my
Really?
favorite. I love Florida too.
Okay, I got you.
But I really only love like the coast of Florida, so I can't really say it's my favorite state.
I went to Florida once, and I went to Naples.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Cannot. Oh my God. I would do anything to go back. It was like the perfect life.
It's so
Like,
beautiful. The water is just gorgeous.
Insane. From
Yeah.
here compared to there? You
Yeah.
kidding me? And I don't travel much, so I was like, whoa, this is,
Yeah.
yeah. So, tell me about what got you into volleyball and how that all started with you.
So I started playing volleyball when I was like 11. And I started playing because my sister was, or I think I might have been 10 or 11.
Okay.
I started in the summer. My sister started playing volleyball, and I kind of was in between sports. Like, I played a bunch of different sports when I was little, so I was in between sports trying to figure out what I wanted to play next. And
Okay.
my sister started playing volleyball, so I started too, and I just, like, really loved it.
Really?
And I was pretty good. Most sports I was, like, decent, but I wasn't, when I was that young, I wasn't always the best. I felt like with volleyball, I was pretty good right off the bat, so it was something it felt natural to me.
What made you have that hunch?
I don't really know. I think it was just, well, for the first 2 years, I wasn't really playing. I was just going to my sister's practices, and, like, they would have open courts.
Okay.
So I would just kind of be doing my own thing. So maybe it was the freedom of that made it feel more natural.
Right.
But it was really fun. Like, I loved it more than anything I had ever tried. So I was like, I'm going to stick with this. And then when I was about 13, 14, I started playing club, which is like travel ball. And when I was 14, I started going to a club called Downstate, it was like an hour and a half from me. So, there wasn't really any good travel teams upstate by me. So that's when I started really taking volleyball more seriously and getting a lot better.
Did you have to travel out of state a lot for a club?
Yeah.
Where did you have to end up going?
It depends on the year. So my 14's year, we would always fly on at least 2 trips. So we would do like a qualifier in the Mid-East or like wherever. So it would either be like St. Louis or somewhere over there. That's where it was my 14's year. And then we went to Florida too that year.
Okay.
And then if we made it to nationals, then there would be another flight. So usually we would take 3 flights to 3 different cities.
Real quick, just a little sidebar. Do you have a favorite NFL and NBA team?
Yeah, so I'm a Boston fan for everything. Because
No.
Although I'm from New York, my parents are from New Hampshire, both of them. So yeah, Boston.
That's
everything.
even crazier.
Celtics,
You're from New York and you're...
I know.
I'm
people were mean to me.
I'm very disappointed
about it.
I'm very disappointed. Like, I was expecting...
But you're from New England. You don't like...
No.
No.
No, if you know me, absolutely
Do you like New York
not.
teams?
No.
Oh.
No, well, not. I don't hate them.
Yeah.
Grew up a Yankees fan.
Okay.
So for those that don't know, my first name is actually Mario. It's Mariano.
Mariano. Are you Italian?
I am. How you doing? No, but I have a little picture in the back. Growing up, my parents always used to say that I was related to Mariano Rivera, famous baseball player. In case you guys didn't know, but so yeah, I always used to say I was a Yankees fan just because of that whole concept.
Right.
But now I just say I'm a Blue Jays fan. So that's Toronto. So that's pretty far.
That's.
I'm not gonna see a Blue Jays game tomorrow, you know. And then for football, Bengals, Ohio, Joe Burrow. I mean,
You like Joe Burrow? I like Joe Burrow too.
I mean, who doesn't like Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I mean, I was rooting for him, but.
Yep. And then basketball, Oklahoma City. So
Okay,
I'm not gonna see any of my favorite teams anytime soon. Is what I'm pretty much telling you.
Yeah.
Which is sad. But I respect Boston.
Yeah.
I just don't like them. But so you were saying club, and then did club go all throughout high school as well?
Yeah, so I started playing club at Downstate my 8th grade year, so that would be 14s through my junior year.
Got you.
And then my senior year, I didn't play at Downstate just because I was already committed, and it was a really big travel commitment, so I played at a club closer to me.
Okay.
Just for my senior year.
So I brought this up right at the very beginning, but you were telling me you played varsity for 6 years.
Yeah.
So you were telling me that when you were in 7th grade, you were playing varsity volleyball.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So, it just worked out good for me because there was a setter who was a senior when I was in 7th grade. So I was like her replacement. So I didn't play that much my 7th grade year, I don't think. I think I was just like
No, but that's insane.
Practice.
You're still like you're being groomed up into the ranks as a 7th grader.
So that summer I went to all the workouts with my sister, the open gyms and stuff.
Good
and
for
the
you.
coach saw me. She was like, "Oh, this is like you're going to be able to set for us next year." So then 8th grade, that's when I really started. I started starting as a 8th grader. And
How tall were you back in middle school? Do you remember?
I think I was like 5 foot. So I'm only like 5'3" now.
Yeah. But did that ever like make you nervous, like being around taller people?
Oh yeah, it definitely was hard, especially being a setter. You can be short, but it's not the standard. So like a lot of the greatest setters in the country are all like 6'1", 6'2".
Right.
So a lot of people, will tell you it's gonna be a problem. You should switch positions. But I liked setting, so I stuck with it.
So what got you into setting? Like, how did you know that was the position for you?
I can't even really remember. So when you're short, they pretty much put you either at libero or setter.
Okay.
Usually more so libero, but my sister was a libero, so I think it wasn't like a defiance thing, but I think I was just like, we can be separate. We can be a little separate just to start out. Yeah. And I just stuck with it after that.
So I obviously know what it is, but do you want to explain, just in case people don't watch volleyball, whoever's listening or watching? Do you want to explain to them what exactly it is that you do?
As a setter?
Yes.
So a setter's basically like a quarterback, kind of. That's the best way to describe it, just because
you drop dimes, of course.
Because you're running the offense, though, so you decide which hitter gets the ball. So you always there's 3 contacts in volleyball. The first one, which is like the pass or the dig. Mm-hmm. The second one is the set, and the third contact is the attack over the net. So the first pass is defense, second touch is me, the setter, and the third hit is our hitters.
So So we talked about this right before, but I wanted to talk about this now, obviously. So, like I said, I love watching athletes huddles, like going before they make it to where they are now.
Yeah.
And I saw the craziest thing because I don't remember. I'm sure you did, and I'm just dumb and don't remember. But I was seeing you do like behind the back, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously not like that, but behind the back, freaking assists.
Yeah.
How do you even practice that? Like, how do you even? Is that
Like, wait, so are you talking about if I set, like, set behind me to Nigel, or if I go over the net?
No, I'm saying, so if you set to somebody and you're not even looking at them. Like, I literally saw you set it to the person behind you. You're not even looking at them.
Yeah, so that's, like...
That has to take a lot of practice.
It definitely does, especially setting... Well, all of volleyball is just... I guess any sport. Reps are everything, so I've probably taken, if I had to count, like, probably over 20,000... setting reps, or well over maybe. I don't really know, but like at this point a back set is like
it's like flipping a pancake.
You don't really have to think.
That's nuts. So let's talk about first year of high school. So going to high school, obviously, you know, everyone's always nervous going into high school. So would you say high school for you is actually pretty easy because you were going with the team at such a younger age?
That's a great point. Going into high school, I felt a lot less nervous because, like you said, you're going in with the team, and it's volleyball season is the fall, so it's like we were in season right from the beginning. So that definitely did make me feel more comfortable.
Wow. Would you say at any point during your playing career or just in general, like going through high school, like you were ever anxious at any point? Really, because it's just usually the players that are really good at a younger age or are part of a group like that. In your case, that is just. You don't see that often. That's like, you're like, what is it, Jaden Newman? Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
No? Jaden, if I'm not mistaken, that was he was like the varsity basketball player at like 6th grade. The viral kid.
I think I've...
Yeah, but, really? So you would say that you were anxious at times throughout high school?
Not probably, related to volleyball.
Yeah.
I feel like in sports, I'm pretty confident.
Okay.
Outside of volleyball, it's a different story. But it's almost like, I feel like as an athlete, when you're playing, you're kind of performing. I don't know, it's similar to other art forms. Like, I feel like you're not really yourself. Yeah. You're kind of in a different mindset. So I don't get that much anxiety playing sports.
Okay.
I did a little bit my freshman year here because COVID and everything. There was just a lot going on.
We can get into
We'll
that.
get into that. Yeah. But yeah, my anxiety in high school was more... Other thing related.
So answer me this: if you were to be able to talk to your younger self now, what would you say to her?
I would definitely tell her to get out of friendships or relationships that are where people are not serving you. I don't know. I feel like when you're younger, you can't really see through people as much. Like, you can get manipulated a lot more easily. When I was younger, I think I was in some friendships and relationships where I was just, like, almost being manipulated.
Wow.
Like, moved around.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would pretty much say that...
Like, keep your head up and also keep your chin up.
Chin up. Hey, if you know, you know.
You know.
No, but wow, that's actually wild. Mm-hmm. So, pretty much what you're saying is, like, talk to the people where the energy is reciprocated. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and just be more alert. Like, I feel like I was just blind to a lot of people doing things wrong to me, and
Wow.
But when you're young, I don't know, it's harder to see through. I feel like now I can just see people very clearly. If they're trying to do something shady, I can just tell.
How does someone do Tori Boulay wrong? How does that happen? You look so stupid right now. Like, who are you?
Exactly.
I wanted to say this at the intro because if I'm being honest, I had to save it in my back pocket for like a couple weeks now.
What?
Has anyone ever called you Tori Boulay?
Bublé?
Yeah.
Oh, like Michael Bublé?
Exactly.
Actually, no.
Around Christmas time, that's your new nickname.
Okay.
There you go, Tori Boulay.
That's a new one.
Yeah, no one's ever. That's crazy.
Mm-mm.
So, hey, trademark that now.
I will.
Just make sure you remember me. So, wow. So, okay. So going from freshman year, a little bit of nerves. Sophomore year, would you say like that was the year because when did you know that you wanted to take volleyball, like truly, I want to go to college and play volleyball?
I think by my freshman, well, no, let me be real. I knew I wanted to play college volleyball ever since I started playing. Like,
Wow.
it was the second I started playing, I knew. So in 7th grade and 8th grade, of course, you know, I was very ambitious. I wanted to go to, like, Stanford. Of course, that's not realistic. But, you know, when you're young, it's better to dream big than to close yourself off. So by freshman year, of course, I knew I'm not going to Stanford to play volleyball. But so then I started kind of figuring out what I wanted in a school, what I wanted to do with my career. It's hard to figure out when you're a freshman in high school, but that's kind of what I was trying to figure out so I could limit which schools I wanted to contact. So I started emailing colleges my freshman year.
That's nuts. That is insane because I had no idea if I was even going to college senior year. So that's, wow, good for you.
It's kind of weird when you think about it, though, because especially with, like, volleyball or with any sport, you don't really know what you want when you're a freshman.
True.
So it's weird you're, like, going through the recruiting process when you're, like, 14.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But, yeah.
You know what's crazy? I don't know if you just heard about this. So I was sitting with a friend the other day. We were in Devil's Den. Obviously, you know where that is. Shout out to Dan. But we were sitting down, and I was just sitting there, and I'm thinking, what are, like, the biggest women's sports currently? I mean, you could name, WNBA, you can name soccer, and you can name a few other things, but I was thinking, is there, other than the Olympics, is there, like, a WVBA, like Women's Volleyball Association? I was thinking about that.
I think it's called FIVB.
Oh, really? So is there something? Because I was thinking about it.
I forget what it is. It's French? No. It's Spanish. I can't
I don't know.
Oh,
FIBA. You're talking about FIBA. Because I know there's FIBA for different sports.
Yeah.
But if there is one for volleyball. But I was thinking about it. And then an hour later, I don't know if you saw this, Joe Burrow and Jason Derulo, they created, like, a professional women's volleyball team.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't know if it's a team or a league, but, like, they started something.
That's really cool.
Which is
Jason
insane.
Derulo?
Yeah, it's like the weirdest.
How random.
If you were to tell me in 2023 that was gonna be like the duo,
yeah, I would have never believed that.
And no shot. But yeah, they started something. So if you're a volleyball player, or we could look into that after.
Look at that.
But that would, because imagine if you're going to college, I'm going to volleyball
pro.
association.
Yeah, I was
going
just
to the
talking
draft.
to my sister about that the other day. How it's like there's really no female equivalent to, of course, NBA and NFL are big money makers, so it makes sense. But there's no, like, female equivalent. You can't really make a huge career off your sport as a woman. You really can't.
But I will say,
if there
was volleyball, who the hell wouldn't watch that?
Volleyball is so fun to watch. People don't know. It's underrated. It's really
I agree.
underrated.
And I'm saying, I think it would surpass.
You think so?
I think it would surpass the big whatever.
Well, in other countries, volleyball is really, really popular. It's really big for male and women.
But like you can make money off that. Like, is
is
that for money? Is that for just comp?
I really don't know. I would have to look into it more. But I know, like, the ratings are a lot higher in Europe than they are here.
So is that something? I mean,
we don't even have volleyball. Doesn't play on TV here. So
well, if the opportunity presented itself, would you ever be like, I'm gonna keep going? What?
Probably not.
Really?
No, I don't. I think once I'm done at Central, I'll probably be done at least competing. I'll definitely want to keep playing volleyball, in other ways like beach or something. Okay. Like just for fun though, but not.
That'd be so unfair. If you were just like together with a bunch of friends and you're like, oh, I mean, I heard she like once played volleyball before. It's just absolutely freaking looking like Magic Johnson, dropping dimes on the beach. That'd be so unfair. But yeah, so freshman year, you're already saying that you're going through the recruiting process, which is that is insane.
Yeah.
But sophomore year, you obviously took a step forward.
Yeah.
And did you have any offers sophomore year?
No offers sophomore year. I was pretty much narrowing down my school list throughout all of sophomore year. So my during high school season, I wasn't really talking to coaches as much. I started talking to them as club season would approach.
Gotcha.
So I would say by the fall of my junior year, I was in between 4 or 5 schools that I pretty much knew I wanted to go to. Really? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So junior year comes along.
Yeah.
And is that when you went all state, or was that senior year?
Actually, that was sophomore year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Sophomore year we went.
Nuts.
We went to states and we came in third. And my
wow.
My school we hadn't been to states since like.
And how many teams made states?
4. It was really cool.
What was that hype like?
It was so fun. That was probably one of my favorite sports moments ever.
Did you get a home game as because you said you finished third, but were you like the 3rd seed playing?
So
or how did that work?
The way they did it in New York was you had like your section, which was kind of the people around, like the schools near you.
Mm-hmm.
So all the schools that you would play in like pretty much your conference.
Gotcha.
So we won that. That was we didn't get to host or anything because we would do like neutral locations. So that was at like a college. Mm-hmm. Then we went to regional finals, played New Rochelle, which was a team from like downstate, and they were undefeated, so it was great to beat them because their fans came in like, no one can beat us.
Yo, sports fans are brutal.
We handled them though too. It was
Game that work?
Yeah, they weren't prepared for us. And then we went to states and we came in third. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually nuts. So what was the hype like for you going into a match with that much magnitude?
Yeah,
I would have had crazy butterflies.
I don't know how to describe the feeling. It's not like butterflies. It's like your adrenaline is so high that your focus is like you're just so locked in. You can't.
How are you even
really
able to sleep the night before?
I don't remember if I slept or not. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's wild.
We're trying to get that feeling again this year.
Absolutely, I hear you.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. Mm-hmm. So, junior year comes along. You say that you've narrowed your schools, right?
Yeah.
And was there anything major that happened junior year?
So junior year, sophomore year, my high school team was really good. Junior year, my club team was really, really good. That was like the most special team I've ever been on.
Wow.
So I was getting a lot of looks from schools simply because all my teammates were good too, and the coaches would just be on our court. So like we had a lot of coaches on our court when we would go to qualifiers and stuff. So I started talking to a few more schools by the spring, but those schools weren't offering me money, or they were just offering me like walk-on positions. Mm-hmm. So
I'm assuming you wanted a great chance at playing, along with some sort of like we'll hook you up if you come to us.
I was in between that, and I was contemplating going D2 to go to a warmer school, because the Florida schools were really pretty. Like there was a school in Fort Lauderdale that had a gorgeous campus.
Fort Lauderdale, mm-hmm. That would have been so nice.
But
the weather here is brutal.
I wanted to play at the highest level of competition that I could at the end of the day.
That.
So with money as well. Mm-hmm. So that's how I kind of decided on Central.
So junior year, club was better.
Yeah.
And you said that was a very special team. So then senior year comes along. Was the high school team better, worse, just kind of Because you can be respectful about it, but was that did you kind of treat that year like I need to do what's best for me?
Oh, well, so okay, I committed in my junior year in the spring season.
You said I'm going to CCSU junior year.
Yeah, after my visit.
Was it during your
I had
volleyball
a couple
season?
Visits. It was during club season, yeah.
So is that the spring?
It was like April.
Of what year?
2019.
Really?
2019.
Okay, so what was it like for you coming to Connecticut and CCSU and that whole experience? Tell me about it.
I really liked my visit. Central was a different vibe back then, actually. It's funny though, COVID changed everything, but I really I was in Hilltop. I loved Hilltop.
Hilltop
food was great.
Was so cool.
I was excited for the food here. But and then
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And then I loved the girls on the team too. Mm-hmm. And the coaches, everyone I met was cool. And some schools I went on visits on, I'm not gonna say anything. But
no, that's fine.
They
I'm glad you brought that up because I was just,
their team chemistry was like I could tell from the visit that it wasn't great, and that's not like they're supposed to be on their best behavior. So if it was anything like that, I was kind of like I don't want to go into an environment like that, and it wasn't like that at Central at all.
So are you? You can say no, but would you be willing to say any other possible schools you could have ended up going to? Or like what the final 3 was or whatever?
Yeah, final 3 I would say was here, Stony Brook, and Albany.
Where's Stony Brook in?
Stony Brook's in New York too. It's in, those are both SUNY schools.
Yeah.
That's another reason I didn't want to... I didn't really want to stay in state just to get a different vibe.
Okay, I respect that. Leaving the nest.
Yeah. And then I was also talking to UMass Lowell, and then their program got cut.
That's wild.
Right before I committed here. I was like, oh, good
Look
thing
at that.
I didn't commit there.
Oh, yeah. So did you have one of those things where you get your picture taken, you have the hat, like, I'm going to Central. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, that was fun. It was the fall of my senior year, and it was like with my athletic department, and all my friends came.
Wow. Good for you.
It was great, yeah.
That's incredible. So, senior year, was there, so you already knew you were going to Central. What was the goal, to just protect yourself, like no injuries, like what was on your mind senior year? Like what was because you already accomplished what you wanted, which was to make it to college.
Yeah.
So what was going through your mind senior year?
Senior year was, for high school, we had lost a lot of girls, a lot of front row players, so I ended up hitting. I set when I was in the back row, and then I was an outside hitter when I was in the front row. So senior year was fun for me because
you were playing out of position?
Yeah, I'm 5'3", obviously, like I said, so I don't usually get to hit.
Yeah.
But I love hitting. It's so fun. It's probably my favorite part of volleyball.
Wow.
So it was cool to get to do that. There's no other time I would be able to do that. So I really wanted to win, though, my senior year, but we didn't really have the talent. We had a lot of young girls, and it didn't work out. But
So before we talk about your college career up to this point, would you say that as of right now, you are a true master of your craft?
I wouldn't say
there.
I'm a master. I don't think. No. I'm definitely getting there.
Okay, and I respect the answer.
That's my goal.
I'm just wondering.
I don't know if I'll ever. I feel like I'll never really be satisfied. You can't really be a master. There's always room for improvement. If that makes sense.
What a great answer. What a great answer. Yeah, so, if I'm not mistaken, didn't you come here in 2020?
Yeah, that was my freshman year.
So your freshman year was during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about what life during COVID was like for you. Obviously, it's still a thing. It's not as bad as it was. Okay? Hopefully nobody gets mad at me for saying that. But what was that like for you? Because you're going into college for the first time ever, and you're dealing with a thing that people are just terrified of.
Right.
You don't want to get sick. You got to play. What's going on? What's going on in your brain?
So by the summer, like right before I came here, I was so excited to come because I'd been locked up for we all had, obviously, for however many months, and there was just nothing to do. I was just excited for something new. So we came here. I didn't have to quarantine. I know my most of my teammates did for 2 weeks, but since I was from New York, it was like a low-risk state or whatever.
Okay.
So I didn't have to quarantine.
Wow.
So I came 2 weeks later than everyone. So everyone had already established, like, friendships or whatever. But my teammates are so cool. So it wasn't hard to become super close with them. Mm-hmm. So life was pretty boring here. It was, like, practice, that's it.
That's crazy. No, the life of a freaking D1 athlete is nuts. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you guys do it. I would go insane. No, seriously.
You think so?
Because I mean, you're constantly okay. You can say this whether it's a good or bad thing. I mean, I don't know. That's your preference, your call. Would you say, as of right now, because of how much you practice, and I haven't really asked this question to many of the other athletes, I should have, but would you say that it's now felt more like a job rather than a side thing or like a passion that you truly do, or maybe both? Like, how does it feel for you now?
Yeah, I would say school feels more like a job to me right now than volleyball. Volleyball feels kind of like an outlet. Definitely lift and practice are, like, that's why I wish we were practicing more right now. I practice and lift both. Like, I feel like I can just clear my mind. So I feel
it's
like
kind of like peace for you.
Yeah, it's kind of like therapeutic almost. Like, not to just throw that word out there, but it feels, I feel like I can let out a lot of frustration, especially at lift too, with my friends. I love my team too, so I don't know. It's a great vibe. It doesn't feel like a job to me.
I respect that answer. So what's your major, if you don't mind me asking?
Computer science.
Computer science?
Yeah.
What made you want to pick computer science?
So I've always loved math, and
That's a very unpopular answer.
I know.
Wow.
I know. I love, like, logic type things, like where you can figure it out and know that it's certain, like, it's correct for sure.
Can you solve a Rubik's Cube?
No.
Really?
Well, I did one time, but it took me like
you still did
3
it, though.
months. Yeah, I did.
I had a feeling.
Okay. but I wanted to do originally civil engineering, I think. But when I was like early in high school trying to figure out what I wanted to do, but then I was like looking into it more, I was like, I don't really want to do this. I just wanted to pick something math related. So I was like, oh, civil engineering. And then one of my friends actually was like, you should try computer science. I know there's a lot of openings for girls in the field. And so I took like a coding class my senior year of high school.
Wow.
And I really liked it. So I was like, let me go for it.
Okay.
And yeah, here I am.
So if someone were to ask you, where do you see yourself 20 years from now? What is it that you're going to be doing? Do you have any hunch, any idea? No pressure.
I hope I'm not well, let me describe it. I don't know how to describe it. I want to start out my career in computer science, but I hope in 20 years from now I'm not working like that type of work.
Yeah.
I want to move my money into other forms, and hopefully I'll be successful by then.
What's your definition of success? What's your idea of that?
I would like to be living comfortably. 20 years is a long time. Wait, okay, do I want...
No, you could tell me the process up to that 20-year mark.
Yeah, let me go 10 years from now.
Okay, that's fair enough.
10 years from now, I would like to have a home.
What kind of home?
Somewhere pretty.
Where's
Maybe
somewhere
with
pretty?
A view.
In
Definitely with a view.
In the United States? Freaking, I don't know, Italy?
For the longest time, I wanted to move to France.
Are you French?
I'm French and Lebanese.
Really?
And a little bit of other things.
Can you speak French?
A little.
Really? Did you take French in high school?
Yeah.
Tell me a sentence. What is Je m'appelle Mario? Right?
Yes.
Shout out to all my French people out there.
Shout out to the French people.
So you said living comfortably. Would you want a pool?
Yeah.
Would you want
a pool? Yeah. Ideally, I would like. I definitely want to live somewhere warm. I don't know. I think where I lived through my 20s. My goal is to be working remote, too, throughout my 20s so that I can travel a lot.
What do you mean by remote? Like from home?
Maybe partially remote. Maybe, because I know for computer science, there's a lot of jobs where you, like, have headquarters, so you'd be based somewhere, but you can work remote for, like, a couple months, be back. So that I kind of want, like, a more, not a lean, I don't know what the right word would be, like a... Like kind of part-time remote. Where
it's not as physically demanding?
Right. Like I don't have to be on site most of the time, if that makes sense.
Okay. You a dog or a cat person?
I'm both. I can't decide.
Really?
Yeah.
So in this dream scenario or what you want in the future, how many pets are going to be in your house?
Okay. Maybe like 2-3 cats, 1 or 2 dogs.
More cats than dogs?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I love my cats. They're so funny.
How many do you have now?
2.
Really?
But 1, Gracie, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
She got let out. Don't let your cats outside.
They're
crazy. Not meant to be outside.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, you just made me so sad.
That was like 3 years ago. I'm still not over it. But, yeah.
Okay, I hear you. So, here we are. Let's talk. So, was this past season your second season?
My third.
Your third.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's talk your second season, because I have no idea.
All right.
I obviously saw the third season, but tell me about the second season. What was that like?
Our second season, we had a really talented team, kind of like last year, except we had more. We had like 3 seniors that were really established. We had a great libero, Ashlyn. She was really good. Emma, an outside hitter. So we had a lot of mature players that have been there for a while, but we just didn't have. We never really meshed. The best. Like, our peak was very, very early on in the season. It's kind of similar to this year in that I felt like we were better at the beginning of the season than we were at the end of the season.
Really?
And you're not going to, there's no way to win if you're not improving with the rest of the teams.
Right.
So it was kind of disappointing because we had a great team, like, and everyone wanted it. It just didn't work out for us.
So what? And you don't need to answer this if you don't want to, but would you say that this past year's team or one of the years prior was one of the closest locker rooms you've ever been a part of?
This year, definitely.
The one that just passed?
Yeah. This year, definitely.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So
I love, like, I feel like I could tell them my life secrets. And
so break down this past season for me. What was that like for you?
it was really fun. Because now I'm a junior, I'm like a upperclassman kind of. So it's just cool feeling. I've finally felt more confident with my teammates. Not that I've kind of felt reserved still last year there was like a divide between me and some other people my sophomore year. So
what do you mean by divide?
Like I just didn't feel
like you saw them more as just teammates and
more
nothing.
There was respect and everything, but it wasn't like
we're gonna go hang out after.
Right, exactly. And this year there was none of that. Like I felt like they're all pretty much my sisters at this point. Wow. So yeah.
So what do you think was the difference, or how did that click come about? Was there like this one practice, or was there like this one moment in time? Did your coach make you guys just run suicides to the point where, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you guys normally do for conditioning, but
yeah, I wouldn't say there was one moment in particular that started it, but it was definitely something that was building up over the spring season last year, and then when our freshmen came in, working them in, it was really cool. And our freshmen are so fun too. Shout out Veronica and Josie. They're so it was cool them coming in, and just the vibe was good. So we started out super strong. I felt like we had a lot of potential this season. We have a lot of potential for next season. Hopefully we got it.
So what do you think is the key in your eyes as a volleyball player, as an athlete in general? And I guess you could say you've experienced some success, so you know to an extent what it would take, maybe. So what do you think it is in your personal? Do you personally feel like you need to step up to even greater level? Like what is going through your mind when it comes to that?
Yeah, definitely. I always think the worst feeling is having a season not go the way you wanted, and feeling like Margaret always says this, one of my teammates, feeling like you could have.
Shout out.
Shouts Margaret. Feeling like you could have done more. That's the worst feeling as an athlete, like leaving a game and you lost and you feel like you
didn't give it your all.
Yeah, so, I didn't have too many moments where I felt like that. Of course, that's never the goal. You never want to feel like that. But the goal would be next season to have 0 moments where I feel like that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So obviously you're still fresh off the most recent season. So do you feel now that you're better now than then somehow?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
How so?
I mean, I feel like with volleyball,
tell me, how does one develop?
Yeah, like in the Olympics and everything, players don't peak until they're like 26. So
wow.
Or 25 is like
that's still
so because for women, in some sports like gymnastics, you peak at like 15. So it's like completely opposite for volleyball. You just keep it getting better until you get older.
Yeah.
But so I feel like every time I'm on the court, I'm getting better. That's how I view it. Every time I'm going to practice, every rep I take, I'm probably getting better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so earlier you said that you have to be alert, obviously, as a setter, because you're like the quarterback.
Right.
I mean, that's a very good statement that you said, because, I mean, you obviously have to be on your A game as So do you ever feel, especially now that you're playing college ball, is it like even, like when you first came in, first year, what was the skill gap? How did that feel going into a D1 level competition versus high school?
It was definitely a lot of pressure. I was used to a little bit of pressure playing at my club, like tryouts and stuff, playing with older girls. You feel nervous, because you want to perform good, like in front of these talented players. It kind of felt like that at first, like almost like, oh, I want to like show out for them.
Right.
And I was nervous because as a setter, it's always hard working with a new team and new hitters, learning what they like. Like some middles like the ball higher, quicker, lower. Like every hitter likes their ball a different way. So that's overwhelming a little bit coming into.
So you have to freaking satisfy everyone's needs.
Right.
That is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and like I was just 18, had just turned 18. I was nervous because the older hitters were great, and they were, they had their connection with their setter, and I didn't want to disappoint anybody. Mm-hmm. So it took a little bit to get comfortable with them. But once I was like a few months in, it was just natural.
So you would say right now you're able to just go out there and play? Like there's no like, oh, I don't know about this girl. This.
No, nothing like that.
Wow, good for you. So this obviously, once again, we're talking about this most recent season. Now we're all caught up in time. Yay. But so it's so funny. So I don't know if you've seen like the other episodes I've had with like some of your former teammates or current teammates. Excuse me.
I've seen all of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So have you heard the story of when I first saw you guys play, or like what I was doing?
I don't fully remember.
So I don't remember the team. You guys were on the road. I had nothing better.
This season, or was it?
This past season,
okay.
Yes. I had nothing better to do, so I decided. Well, I was drinking some wine. All right, I was drinking some wine.
Naturally.
Yep, naturally. And I was like, I think volleyball is playing right now. So I threw up the stream. Shout out NEC front row. You guys are clutch. Threw it on, and then I put it on the TV. So I think it was on like maybe what days were usually your games?
Friday, Saturday.
I think it was a Friday. Yeah, yeah, it was definitely Friday. Nothing better to do. I'm watching volleyball.
Yeah.
So I watched, and you guys won in 5.
Okay. Do you remember? You don't remember who we were playing?
It was on the road, and I think it was in September or October.
Okay. Most of our games that we won were
helps.
in 5. That
yeah.
early on. So.
But regardless, all I know is that's when I started watching, and then it just became this. I don't even know, just something beautiful.
Well,
Shout out,
definitely appreciate it.
And then obviously you guys signed the ball. It's right there. Shout out the ball.
Yeah.
So.
That's my name. But yeah, we appreciate the support, definitely.
Yeah, no, yeah. So that's something I wanted to get into next. So obviously I'm a big fan, but can't just have one. I mean, maybe one of me is worth 1,000 fans. I don't know. Nah. But what do you personally think? Because I truly believe this, that you guys might be one of, if not like the best sports group on campus as of right now. I truly believe that.
There's a lot of great sports teams.
Oh, there is. Like, shout out the basketball team, football.
Teams at Central. What, our track team just won, too.
Oh, my God. Shout out the track team. Yeah.
Shout out to track. That's super cool. I think, yeah, we definitely have the potential to be.
I think you guys, like, should be what everyone looks forward to when it comes to games.
We just got our assistant coach back. Shout out, Greg.
Shout out to you.
Coach Greg. And so, yeah, we got all the pieces are there. We just have to do it.
Yeah, so, but what do you personally feel that needs to be done to possibly get more people to go to your game?
Oh, and to come to our games?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean, now, I'm not trying to say this like nobody goes. That's not true. But, you know what I mean?
There could be more, for sure.
I would love it if you guys had, like, it was rocking. Like, you go in, and it is rocking.
Yeah. That's how it used to be at our high school. I don't know how Newington was like.
Newington, I'm sure you've heard, because shout out to Matt. Dude.
It's fun.
We had... And I didn't watch. It was a shame, but we had like a dynasty.
Yeah, we had a lot of fans. Like, the whole school would come. I think we should do that here at Central too, because when we're not in basketball season in the fall. There's no other indoor sport, like in the gym.
Yeah.
Volleyball's fun just because it's fun being in the gym. That's in my opinion.
It's
I love
nuts.
watching a good game. And
so, do you? Is this gonna be no? You have one. Do you have one more season after this upcoming one?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay. I have my senior year, and then I have a year of eligibility because of COVID, so I'm gonna stay for that.
Really? So it's this season plus another 2?
Just one.
Or just one?
Yeah.
So two more seasons. Okay.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm sure that you want to worry about the now.
Yep.
And make this one count.
Exactly.
So, yeah. What do you think? What do you think it takes? Like, how do you convince people? Do you ever feel like sometimes you walk into a room and you get treated differently, and maybe like that's Tori. She's an athlete. Nothing
I don't know.
She probably doesn't care about me. Probably sees me as an NPC.
No, I hope no one thinks that. I don't think. Not that I've noticed. I haven't really noticed any different type of treatment for me being an athlete. Like in my classes and stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
So what do you think it is? Like, how do you form the bonds and connections on campus? Because obviously that's what you want to target.
Yeah,
like, what do you do?
Like, to make friends on campus?
I mean, no, I'm not talking about just friends. Just like to get people to actually go to the games. Yeah, because you got to figure it out somehow.
Yeah, usually I'll ask people. I'll say I have a game. Hopefully you can come. But if they don't come, I'm not going to press them about it. Like,
I would.
They can come if they want to. They should want to.
They should want to. I like that. No, but seriously, you guys are. It's nuts. And the first time I ever stepped into where you guys play, like the court, dude, different. What a feeling.
And we just got our floor redone like last year, and we just got our lights redone too. So it's beautiful.
Wow.
Gym.
It's
beautiful atmosphere.
Beautiful.
Everyone, you should come.
I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's freaking Villanova or Duke. Like, it is nuts walking in there. Like, it feels like you're walking into greatness.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Volleyball is so much fun to watch. People, especially those close games, like, a 5-set match.
I can't even breathe. I don't know how you guys
They really
doing it.
I get more anxiety off the court. Like, when I'm off the court, I'm, like, about to have a panic attack on the floor.
So what is it? It's a 15. So let's say it's like 10 to 11. You're down one in the 5th set. I can't. If I'm I was a fan, I can't breathe.
Best moments to play in though. Like,
really?
Yeah, of course. Because it's just a different vibe. Like a comeback too.
Do you know what your record is when it goes to 5 in general throughout your career? Like, do you ever keep track of that?
This year we did a lot better. Last season we lost. My sophomore year, I'm pretty sure we lost every single 5th set we were in.
How many matches went to the 5th set?
I couldn't tell you, but all I know is that was one of our big problems. We couldn't close out.
I mean that sounds that's what happens usually with younger teams throughout sports.
Right.
So hopefully this year with maturity and experience.
Definitely.
You never know.
Yeah.
So is there? So I ask everyone this, and they gave me the same answer, and it doesn't surprise me. So what is the expectation for you for this upcoming season? Obviously, you got plenty of time, but, like, what is the standard? What is being preached right now? Like, this is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to take care of business.
We're just all locked in. We want a ring, of course. That's what I'm sure that's the answer most of my teammates gave. But, yeah, just focusing on self-improvement, getting stronger. Right now we're in the off season, so we're really focusing on pushing weight and getting as strong as we can. Right. Then as soon as we hit the fall, we're just going to be locked
So in. I love that you put an emphasis on getting stronger because, and I was saying this when I had Miss Pika on, dude, I believe it was Sacred Heart. I'm like so convinced it was Sacred Heart. That's who it was. They had, like, multiple girls where they had, like, tree trunks for legs, and they would just serve it, and it looked like a freaking bat out of hell was coming at you.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, you guys have to prepare for some crazy stuff.
Yes, but there's, like, I think St. Francis has a lot of girls like that,
Maybe
too.
It was St. Francis. I don't know. It
like
was somebody.
Blonde girl, outside hitter.
It might have been.
She's like a strong. I love players like that too. Like, just powerhouse players. They're really hard to defend.
What are they eating
like,
for breakfast?
I don't know. It's the Pennsylvania air or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know how you guys prepare. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness. So I know Rachel said it on here. You don't have to if you don't want to. Is there, like, a least favorite team that you are, like, someone or a team, even a player on a team where when you go against them you're like, oh yeah, she's getting that one word.
Okay, so I don't like playing. I would say either St. Francis. Yeah, St. Francis. They're my least favorite team to play.
Really?
Definitely.
Why?
Because, like you said, they're kind of an unpredictable team. A lot of them have a weird style of volleyball. Not weird in a bad way.
Unorthodox?
Just different. Yeah. So it's hard to play against. They also run a really fast offense, so naturally our blockers have a harder time closing, and our defense has a hard time.
So how does someone, because obviously you guys know because you're in the fire and you're the ones who practices and deal with it, so you're the experts. Right. But from the outside eye, it just looks like you're playing, but you're not. Obviously, I'm sure throughout timeouts or something, you got to figure out something.
Yeah, there's a lot of
way
stuff
to adjust. So how complex is it, your scheme or whatever, compared to high school? Is it like a huge, like, oh my God, I have to learn these X's and O's, or what is that like?
Compared to high school, very different. Compared to club, it's pretty much the same because there's only so many sets and plays you can run. So pretty much by the time I was a sophomore, junior, I knew all of them and I could run them. Same with all my teammates were probably at the same spot in their sophomore and junior year too. Like, they knew all the plays, so it's just a matter of changing them to match our opponents and running different crosses. So it's not that we have to memorize any new hits or plays. It's just that we have to figure out what ones to run in order to have our best matchups against the other team's block.
Do you have any pregame rituals?
We just, like, dance, sing and dance.
Well, aside from the team, like you personally.
Oh, personally?
Do you say, like, a prayer?
I do, like, a little bit of... I just do a lot of when we're stretching and everything, I have, like, just mantras, self-talk, positives.
Really?
Self-talk, all that.
Do you meditate?
A little, when I can.
Okay.
I'm, like, on and off. I wish I did more, but...
I respect it.
Yeah.
If you were to, how exactly do you go about it? Like, what's your technique?
I usually just, like, sit, lights off, eyes closed and just try and be mindful and be present. And if I have, like, outside distractions coming in, I try to, like, observe those thoughts and then let them go.
You sound just like the narrator on my Calm app.
What?
Do you know what the Calm app
No,
is?
what is that?
It's like the #1 meditation app.
Oh, really?
And like that's literally what
they say?
the person says every time. I'll be so like for me when I zone in, my eyes are closed and like let's say like 3 minutes in, I'm like just trying to focus on breathing and then I don't know. I'll just like have the most random thought of like my brother like shoving me or like being it's so weird when you try and be mindful like you said. And that's so funny you said that. Like, come back to the breath.
Yeah, come back. Exactly. Well, breath's like meditation and finding your breath. That's an important thing in sports too, of course. Like I learned this a lot my freshman year and sophomore year when I was having a little bit of anxiety creeping into volleyball. I had to work on finding my breath and like whenever I was nervous, I struggled a lot mentally with my serve. Like I would, because that's probably one of the most mental parts of volleyball for me because you have total control over it. It's not nobody's passing the ball to you or serving it to you. You are the only one in control. So I was having a lot of stress there. So breathing really helped me get back. Yeah.
So and you pretty much said it a little earlier, so I'm assuming because you even said it, the best moments to play are when it's at its peak. So would you say that like you are someone who's built for the moment?
Yeah.
Like you would say like you thrive under that pressure?
I definitely think so.
And where do you think that comes from?
I think it's just like a competitive instinct, honestly. Like, I feel like it's something you can't really practice or...
Right. You're either built for it or you're not.
You don't like decide it comes on. Like it just is there.
Right.
When the moment comes. Yeah.
So, obviously this past... So I said it, this past season's behind us. We're on to the here and now and next season. And obviously so you know your shit. You know what to expect. So... what do you think as a team it's going to require to take that leap? Because obviously the expectation is there, and you say you struggle on finishing. So, like, what is something you could do in practice? Is it, like, push beyond your limits to have more, like, better stamina when it goes to a fifth set? Like, to be even more better conditioned for a comeback if you're down? Like, what do you do?
I think it's just having... I've said this like a million times on the podcast, but your mindset really. It's as long as we're all locked in and we're on the same page, giving 100% in practice, like doing things. Volleyball is one of those sports where you can surprise yourself if you go for something you don't think you can get, or like just having that mindset where you really are pushing yourself to your limits. If we're all there, then we should be a really successful team.
Are you someone who barks at teammates if they're not on their shit?
I wouldn't say
in practice, or like, is there anybody on the team that like holds people accountable?
Yeah, our captains definitely.
Really?
They hold us accountable for sure.
Like, would you? Cause
like we have to run if we do things we're not supposed to be doing. There's certain things that are unacceptable. Yeah, they make us run for those.
Yeah, because I don't want to like sound like I'm like mansplaining or like because because I played high school football. That was all I knew.
Right.
And it wasn't just the coaches, like my teammates. Yeah, if we weren't up to par, like we'd be like, what do you do? Like we would get like in your face.
It's not like that as much because boys and girls are like, I feel like boys love being screamed at, like that like locks us in. Some girls kind of shut down from that. So it's still intense like that.
So like how do you? So you guys would say like you found that like perfect accountability.
I wouldn't say it's perfect just because, as with any team, there's dynamics that could use improvement. So I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's definitely good. And we definitely don't get away with, like, half-assing. Sorry, I thought I couldn't curse for a second.
No, you're good.
I can't say ass.
Dude, Tori, that was, like, the lead. That was nothing.
I know.
That was nothing.
So, yeah, we don't get away with, like, half-assing things. Like, you will be called out for that, as we should.
Okay. So, not just as you, the athlete, but as a person, what do you expect of yourself in the year of... No,
Sorry,
No, but what do you expect of yourself in the year of 2023 and the rest of your college career, just as a person in general?
As a person,
like, how do you think you personally make strides as just a human being in general?
I have a lot of great people in my life right now, so I just want to, keep having those relationships and like letting my friends know that I appreciate them, stuff like that. Just honestly spending time with the people that I love. That's all I want to do all the time. So that's my goal.
So obviously I said this before we started. 3 things.
Okay.
Do you think you're ready to answer them?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
I need a reminder, though.
No, I'll tell you. I'm not sure to do this. No, I'll tell you. Okay. So here's where we're going to start.
Okay.
So the 3 things are show and or movie or both to recommend to the people. An album and or an artist, or it's like, yo, if you have not heard this person, you have to listen to them, or an album. And then words of advice and or wisdom to our lovely listeners and viewers. If you're still there, I appreciate you. And if you've made it this far without liking or doing anything, I mean, that's kind of messed up. But I'm sure you're here for Miss Tori, so give a like for Miss Tori. I'm just saying. But, yeah, what would you have to recommend if you could just come up with anything?
Okay, for shows, my favorite, I think the greatest TV show of all time, The Sopranos.
Get the fuck out of here. You've seen The Sopranos?
I love The Sopranos. It's my favorite show.
Are you serious?
I haven't watched. I can't find anywhere to watch it right now.
HBO.
I don't have HBO. Maybe I'll get it.
I
because it's been like 5 years
Tori.
since I've been I used to watch it all the time.
I got you.
Okay. So that's my show recommendation. If you haven't seen it, it's just perfect.
The perfect
There's
show.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's in my top 5 for sure.
No
That's
complaints.
a great recommendation.
For movies? Oh no, can I just go TV show? Or should I give it a movie?
I mean, if you want to throw a movie out there, you can. If you can't think of one, we don't have to. But
we'll leave it with The Sopranos.
I respect that. I think you're the first.
That's a good one.
You're one of few who've only left it at one.
Okay.
A lot of people like to be like, oh, but then.
I have a hard time picking my favorites of things, so.
Just out of curiosity, what if you've seen The Sopranos? Have you seen Breaking Bad?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Breaking Bad.
My next show.
That's on your list.
Okay.
Album and or artist that you would have to recommend.
It's not one no one would have heard of, but I love A Boogie. That's my favorite artist. Do you not like A Boogie? I can tell by that reaction. I can tell.
Boston teams and A Boogie.
A Boogie, I know.
I'm very disappointed because now
he's like you either love him or you hate him.
Yeah,
the people who love A Boogie.
But he's also from New York too, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about the whole Ice Spice hype?
I love Ice Spice. She's a baddie.
Ice Spice. I have a bold a hot take that I think that she's gonna be like.
I get it.
The next.
She's kind of like Nicki level. No, not her.
Not like legend, like career wise, but I think she's.
But like the way she's just coming up,
with
she
our
also
generation?
has this like energy that's just like star power. If that makes sense.
No, she's
only
mad
like a
chill.
few girls that have that. I feel like of the.
I hear you.
Pop girls.
Okay. But A Boogie, is there a favorite A Boogie song or album that you have to?
Favorite album. I don't know. I'd have to go with Hoodie Season because that came out when I was 16. I just got my license, so I was just bumping it with my friends.
I know a few of my friends would love that you said that.
Yeah.
But I'm just. That's okay. I respect it.
So what you don't like? Music. His voice?
Just everything.
You just don't like the vibe?
No. That's just me though. But I don't want to sound like a hater. TJ? I have a friend that loves.
They kind of have similar vibes.
Loves Lil TJ, but I mean, I like that one song. Steady calling my phone. But yeah, I mean, I respect the recommendations, especially The Sopranos. Good for you. Yeah. But for those who know.
They know.
But you gotta get your teammates on that wave.
Oh yeah, I don't think a lot of them have seen it.
Nah, honestly. You gotta put them on.
Yeah, I will.
But last but not least, some words of advice and or wisdom to whether it's your future. It could be to your future self.
Okay.
Just for the record, but it could be to family, friends. It could be to whoever. Just leave your everlasting mark in the air. And by the way, this was incredible.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know. Like,
I had so much fun.
I would love to have you on again if you were down.
Yeah.
But this was great job, Tori.
Thank you. I would say my advice would be just living in the moment, kind of not taking life too seriously. That's some advice to myself now and in the future because it's easy to overthink and get caught up in the little things that are just like nagging you today or tomorrow. But really, if it doesn't matter, it won't matter in 10 years. So just don't stress about things that don't deserve your time.
That was a great one, Tori.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great one. Very, very well put.
Oh, thank you.
You did a very good job for someone who's never been in this setting before.
Yeah,
You're a
first
natural.
podcast, so thank you.
Yeah. Shout out to the first episode in her life. No, but seriously, you're a natural. You should.
Oh, thank you.
Computer science. I'm just saying. I mean, you could see yourself speaking into a mic at some point down the line. But with that said, before we gotta get you out of here because I know that you have lift coming up.
Yes.
See the dedication.
Congrats.
But with that said, everyone has a story and it's still being written. I encourage everyone to keep striving, keep going, keep pushing in life. My heart is with you all. I love you all so much. Ciao for now. Peace.